Welcome to GOLT Talk, your podcast for technology and innovation in the legal profession. If you're searching for solutions to revolutionize your legal practice, you're in the right place. 10 minutes pure, actionable product insights from CEOs shaping the future of legal technology. And here is your host, Tom Pfennig.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GOLT Talk, your go-to podcast for technology and innovation in the legal profession. Every week, we bring you 6 questions and answers in 7 minutes. Pure actionable insights from CEOs shaping the future of legal tech. A warm welcome. Today, we cut through the noise and deliver the facts straight from top minds in legal tech. No fluff, no sales pitches, just unbiased, essential information. My guest today is Walden, CEO of KONA AI, answering the questions that you've been asking yourself. Welcome, Vince. You have 7 minutes on the clock. Let's dive right in. Take it away.
Love it. Hey, Tom, thank you for having me be on the show. Let's fire away.
Okay, so KONA AI, tell us a little bit. What's your unique selling point? What is the best use case you can offer?
We created KONA AI to help global mid to large corporations, typically over $1 billion in annual sales, measurably reduce their fraud, compliance, and sanctions and trade risk across the organization. Really, our unique selling point is that our platform aligns to the DOJ's evaluation of corporate compliance programs, as well as the SFO's guidance around an effective fraud risk management program and the failure to prevent. We have collaborated the world's best library of anti-fraud and anti-corruption algorithms and connected them to a unified data model that ties into companies' financial accounting system. So it's not due diligence, it's what happens after due diligence. No one pays a bribe during the due diligence process. It happens when you actually do business. And KONA AI is uniquely positioned to help companies mitigate that risk.
Awesome. Thank you. Now let's move right to the next question. Who is your strongest ally in the ecosystem of legal tech?
Well, our strongest ally is our customers. I've been so impressed over the last 2.5 years that we've been in business. We've got some of the world's largest companies in mineral and mining, aerospace and defense, global manufacturing, automotive, pharmaceutical, who are using KONA AI either on-prem behind their firewall in their data center, or giving us weekly or monthly data extracts and letting us host in our environment. We have processed $1 trillion of companies' third-party payments data, and the insights that we're able to gain from that $1 trillion to what's the profile of an improper payment, a bribe, what are the key words, what are the most often kind of tests. It's really fascinating and exciting as we deliver this for our customers.
Awesome. Now moving from your allies, your customers, to your competitors. If you look into your vertical, who comes closest to KONA AI?
Well, I'm happy to report my biggest competitor is just got acquired 2 weeks ago. So I was really pleased and excited for my friend. I call him my frenemy, and he'll probably see this and Parth will laugh. Parth, Lex Tegrity got acquired by Case IQ. Interestingly, we had an alliance with Case IQ and a reseller agreement with them too. So it was clear there was natural synergies between the companies. So I say with Lex Tegrity, it was my competitor. Now I think who knows what the future is with Case IQ. But in reality, there's not a lot. I mean, when we first built KONA AI, the inspiration around this, and again, you know the story, but I was one of the partners at a Big Four who helped build AB InBev, Anheuser-Busch's brew right platform. A lot of that was the inspiration of how can we take these analytics and bring them in-house to the compliance office. Now that product, and this is public, but that cost $8 million to deploy over 4 years as we figured it out. But now you could do this for less than $200K. I mean, talk about technology and automation. A year. That's not a per project or consulting type thing, but this could be licensed for less than the cost of a full-time employee. I mean, really, we have democratized these analytics to make it available to the masses, really, in terms of global companies that are at risk for sanctions and trade compliance, or anti-bribery and corruption.
Cool. So 2 more questions. What's the wallet that I have to purchase your product? What's the average per license cost?
I touched on this previously, and really we wanted to democratize this capability. There's really no excuse for companies. If you're a global Fortune 1000 doing business globally with billions of dollars going out to third-party payments, and you cannot afford $200K, and again, I use that, sometimes it's a little bit more, oftentimes it's less. It ranges between $150K to $350K typically. But if you're a global corporation, the DOJ ECCP talks about proportionality. And, I want to bring up that concept. If you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you're running a compliance department with global reach and you're not using analytics, say 200,000 is too much money, I don't think the DOJ is going to buy that. So this isn't $8 million. It's not even $500,000. It's a couple $100,000, if that. And so I really want to help get the message out that this is now an expectation in the DOJ ECCP. If you're not monitoring or looking at transactional data, that's where the risk is. It's not in your due diligence. I'm not saying get rid of due diligence. That's why firms like, Case IQ that does the case management and the pre-onset purchased Lextegrity, my competitor, because they did some of the analytics. It's really an interesting and exciting time for that. And I'm going to go over just a little bit. If you go to a conference, everybody's doing due diligence. KONA AI is going to be the only one at those compliance conferences that's really actually doing analytics, not just due diligence.
Cool. Implementation efforts. How long licensing to getting this thing going?
When the data is available to us, we can have you up and running within 2 weeks. Now, here's the caveat. You got to get your IT to work with you. So compliance professionals need to bring a team in that includes IT professionals to make sure that they have access to the ERP system, the SAP or the Oracle financial system. There's about a dozen tables that we need around procure to pay, around your vendor payments. Once we get that data, it goes right in because it's automatically mapped to the tester populated. If we're missing a certain data set, well, then we can't run certain tests. So, and again, that could be a choice, but we typically say 2 to 3 weeks deployment time. However, it could take 2 to 3 months if your IT is slow to move or cooperating. So it's really an important team effort to make this a success.
But it's a good range, 2 to 3 weeks. Ideal world, 3 months plus or minus in a more complex environment.
Yep. And I want to make one point. Oftentimes companies have multiple ERP systems and you can't boil the ocean in one time. If you've got 15 different instances of SAP, you start with the riskiest. And then over time you add it. You don't have to do it all at once. And that's how we keep costs down for our customers.
All right. Thank you, Vince Walden, CEO of KONA AI. We managed to get a lot of information across. Thank you so much. Greetings to the United States. Take care, Vince.